In the heart of the Persian Empire, under the reign of King Xerxes, a remarkable story unfolded, a story of courage, faith, and destiny. Esther wasn't born into royalty. She was a young Jewish girl named Hadassah, orphaned at an early age and raised by her cousin Mordecai, a man of wisdom and deep faith. Together, they lived in Susa, the capital city of Persia, amidst a vibrant but complex blend of cultures. Mordecai taught Esther the stories of her ancestors, instilling in her a quiet but resolute faith in the God of Israel. Little did they know, her life was about to change forever. King Xerxes, a ruler of immense wealth and ambition, decided to throw a lavish banquet, a display of power to impress his kingdom. But his pride led to a fateful decision. During the festivities, Xerxes commanded his queen, Vashti, to appear before his guests to display her beauty. But Vashti refused. Her defiance shocked the court, and in a fit of rage, Xerxes dethroned her, declaring that a new queen would be chosen. Across the empire, a decree was issued. Young women from every province were to be brought to the palace, where one would be chosen as queen. Among them was Esther. Mordecai urged Esther to participate, but advised her to keep her Jewish identity a secret. It was a time of uncertainty for their people, and this secrecy would prove crucial. Esther was taken to the king's palace, where she underwent months of preparation, beauty treatments, perfumes, and lessons in palace etiquette. Her natural grace and humility set her apart, and when the time came, King Xerxes chose Esther as his queen. Meanwhile, a dark shadow loomed over Persia. Haman, a high-ranking official in the king's court, was consumed by hatred for the Jewish people. When Mordecai refused to bow to Haman, citing his faith in God, Haman's anger turned into a sinister plot. He convinced Xerxes to issue a decree ordering the annihilation of all Jews in the empire, setting a date for their destruction. News of the decree spread like wildfire, filling the Jewish community with fear and sorrow. Mordecai knew there was only one person who could intervene, Queen Esther. Through a messenger, Mordecai sent a plea to Esther. Do not think that because you're in the king's palace, you alone will escape. Who knows? Perhaps you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. These words shook Esther. She had two choices: remain silent and risk her people's annihilation, or risk her own life by approaching the king uninvited, a crime punishable by death. In the quiet of her chambers, Esther wrestled with fear and faith. Her heart was heavy, but her resolve grew stronger. She called for a 3-day fast, asking Mordecai and all the Jews in Susa to join her. On the third day, dressed in her royal robes, Esther approached the throne room, her heart pounding with every step. The grand doors to the throne room swung open, and there stood Esther, radiating courage and grace. King Xerxes looked up, and instead of anger, he extended his golden scepter, a signal of acceptance. Esther let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. "What is it, Queen Esther?" "What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom it will be given to you," the king said. Esther didn't rush. Instead, she invited the king and Haman to a banquet, carefully setting the stage for her request. At the banquet, with wine flowing and tension building, Esther revealed her true identity and exposed Haman's plot. "If I have found favor in your eyes, O king, spare my life and the lives of my people. We have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated." The king's face darkened. "Who is the man who has dared to do such a thing?" Esther turned to Haman. "This vile Haman!" Haman's arrogance crumbled into terror. The king, enraged, ordered his execution, and the very gallows Haman had built for Mordecai became his undoing. But Esther's work wasn't finished. She pleaded with the king to issue a new decree, allowing the Jews to defend themselves. The king agreed, and when the appointed day arrived, the Jewish people triumphed over their enemies. Esther's bravery and faith saved her people, securing her place as one of the most remarkable figures in history. Her story reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting in spite of it. Esther rose from obscurity to royalty, not for personal gain, divine purpose.